Let me tell you something about yourself that you've never heard anyone say out loud. You are not lazy. You have never been lazy. But somewhere along the way, someone made you believe that the reason your life isn't where you want it to be is because you don't try hard enough, you don't work hard enough, you don't want it bad enough. And you believed them. So you started every new year, every new month, every Monday with this fire inside you, this genuine hunger to change. And then a few days later, that fire would die and you would sit there looking at yourself thinking, what is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. But something is very wrong with what you were taught about money, about success, about how life actually works. And in this video, I am going to show you exactly what that is. Because this is day one of a journey I am taking you on. And by the end of 30 days, you will not recognize the way you think, the way you earn, or the way you see your own future. Let me tell you about a boy named Arjun. 19 years old, second year of college. Not rich, not poor. Somewhere in the middle of that uncomfortable place where you have just enough to survive but never enough to actually build anything. Arjun was smart, genuinely smart. The kind of person who understood things quickly, who had ideas, who could see exactly what he needed to do to get somewhere better. But every single month looked the same. He would get his allowance, spend most of it within 2 weeks, promise himself he would be smarter next month, and then next month would arrive and the cycle would repeat. He watched YouTube videos about productivity and took notes he never used. He downloaded habit apps he deleted after 4 days. He made vision boards that collected dust. And every night before sleeping, he would feel this low-grade shame, this quiet voice that said, you had another day and you wasted it again. I need you to understand something about Arjun before we go further. Arjun was not the problem. Arjun was the result of a system that taught him everything except how his own brain actually works and everything except how money actually behaves. Here is the first truth of this entire 30-day journey, and I need you to really hear this. Poverty is not just a financial condition, it is a psychological one. And it gets passed down silently, not through bad intentions but through limited awareness. Think about what you were actually taught about money growing up. You were probably told to study hard, get good marks, get a good job and save whatever is left at the end of the month. That is the entire financial education most of us received. Nobody told you about assets. Nobody told you about how your emotional state controls your spending. Nobody told you that the job you're chasing will likely never make you free. It will only make you comfortable enough to stop seeking freedom. And so you grew up with a brain that was programmed, genuinely programmed, to think about money in a way that keeps you exactly where you are. This is not your fault, but it is now your responsibility. There's a concept in psychology called a scarcity mindset, and it does something terrifying to your brain. When you grow up around financial stress, when money was always tight, always a source of tension, always something that caused fear in your household, your brain develops a relationship with money built entirely on anxiety. So even when money arrives, even when you earn it or receive it, your brain doesn't feel safe with it. It feels urgency. Spend it before it disappears. Enjoy it now because it won't last. And this is why so many people who grew up without much money find that even when they start earning, the money never stays. Not because they are irresponsible, because their brain genuinely does not know how to feel safe with abundance. It only knows how to react to scarcity. Now here is the second thing that was programmed into you, and this one is even more invisible. You were taught, not in words, but in everything you observed, that working hard is the path to financial freedom. And I want to be very careful here because hard work matters. It genuinely does. But hard work alone has never made anyone financially free. Go look at the hardest working people you know. The construction worker who starts at 6 in the morning. The shopkeeper who works 7 days a week. The factory worker who hasn't taken a holiday in 3 years. These are some of the hardest working humans on the planet, and most of them will die without financial freedom. Not because they didn't try, because they were trading time for money in a system that was never designed to make them wealthy. It was designed to make them productive. There is a brutal difference between those two things, and understanding that difference is where this journey actually begins. The people who become financially free are not the ones who work the hardest. They are the ones who understand how money moves, how to build things that earn while they sleep, how to make their brain an asset instead of an obstacle. And this is exactly what the next 30 days is going to teach you. Not theory, not motivation, not the kind of content that makes you feel good for an hour and then disappears, but a real systematic understanding of money, psychology, skills, and execution that will actually change the direction of your life if you take it seriously. So let me give you the 3 realizations I want you to carry into day 2. The first is that your financial situation right now is not a reflection of your worth or your potential. It is a reflection of the programming you received before you were old enough to question it. The second is that changing your financial life does not start with earning more money. It starts with understanding why you do what you do with the money you already have. Because if you don't fix the psychology first, more money will just mean more of the same patterns at a higher number. The third is that you are not too late, you are not too young, you are not too behind. The best time to start understanding this was years ago, but the second best time is today. Right now, this moment, which is why you're here. Arjun figured this out eventually, not overnight but slowly, through understanding himself before trying to change himself. And everything shifted. Not because his circumstances changed first, but because his identity changed first. He stopped seeing himself as someone who was bad with money and started understanding himself as someone who was never taught the right things. And those are two completely different starting points. One makes you a victim, the other makes you a student. And students grow. Follow this journey. Show up every day for the next 30 days. Not because I'm asking you to, but because somewhere inside you, there is a version of yourself that is done with the cycle, done with the monthly reset, done with watching life happen to everyone else. That version of you clicked on this video today. Let's not waste that. Day 2 is coming tomorrow, and we are going to go deep into the psychology of why you spend money you don't have. And honestly, it is going to feel uncomfortably personal. See you there.